That's why she.
Yeah, sure. It's great.
That's why she has one, because she's here defending him. Kudos to this.
I've been proposed to.
Andrew,
you act like I'm like some like amphibian.
Andrew.
Are we gonna get a Rachel cameo, by the way? Here,
I don't. I'm actually scared of your wife. I know she's gonna demolish me. Like I already know.
Here, let's get back to let's try to get through it. So we have got some more notes here. Going back to you,
I think
Jazz.
you're beautiful, by the way. We just have disagreements.
No, you are too.
Yeah.
So Jazz, you said.
Feel free to jump in. Whenever,
No. We need to get through all the notes here, Jazz. So okay, Jazz, you said about me and Andrew. Maybe it was just about me. I don't know.
Yeah.
You said the following. You spew misogynistic, pseudo-intellectual, red-pilled bro ideas and care about stressing traditional gender roles when gender is extremely complex, and anyone in academia understands the evolution of human society and gender. We are much more advanced than animals. Not sure you've caught on to that. Now, before I have Andrew jump in, a few clarifying questions. Misogynistic, pseudo-intellectual, red-pilled bro ideas. I'd like to first maybe define our terms. What is misogyny?
Hating women. I do think y'all are misogynists.
Okay, so how?
I think it's if you think that women have a certain role in society, and if they don't fit that role, then they're deemed inadequate as a woman. Then I think that's misogynistic.
Before I respond to that, actually, I'll respond to that, then I'll get other examples of the alleged misogyny. Didn't earlier you raise your hand 7 times when I asked you, should men do X? And they were all related to male traditional gender roles. So by your own logic, then you would be a misandrist.
Okay. But I'm not saying I hate men.
Okay.
If I say I want them to walk on, I respect when they walk on that side of the sidewalk to protect me, then that's...
From what? What are they protecting you from?
The cars passing.
So you would essentially... I actually.
But
think
I'm not saying I hate men.
Well, actually, but I think it's... You might not hate men, but you have a misandrist view towards men. Stop fucking talking, lady. So you have a misandrist view towards men, and I'll explain it as follows. You think men are disposable because you think... a man can protect me from an oncoming car. He's disposable because he should die on my behalf.
No, personally, I just think it's like a respect thing, and that they value me and care. If they're willing to put themselves in a position like that, it's not necessarily, I think they're disposable. My world would be shattered if if that accident happened with them. They're not disposable.
Right, but you're saying men should sacrifice themselves for women or for you.
No, I'm just saying I think it's a good characteristic for someone to be like, I'll step on this side in case of some sort of event. That's
so what's stopping me from saying I think it's a good characteristic for women to adhere to their traditional gender roles? You seem to say that points to misogyny, so then surely it must point to you being a misandrist.
Okay, if you want to draw that conclusion.
Okay, so we're just going to call each other misandrist and misogynist, or are we going to actually back up these assertions with actual evidence for the claims?
The way that you talk to women on this podcast, I think
What's
is
an example of how?
Calling someone like a prostitute in a derogatory way.
I didn't say that. That was Andrew. But if she is actually a prostitute...
But you're saying
in a misogynist to pay for a young couple's honeymoon.
What's a huckleberry?
That's very kind. I'm not taking away from that.
Your wife called me a huckleberry. What is it?
Very misogynistic, right?
It doesn't mean that everything you do has to be in the vein of hating women. I'm just saying.
But if I hated women, why would I assist women?
I mean, you're giving them their honeymoon, but still,
wait.
Again, she's a woman that agrees with your idea.
Right. So if it also benefits a man, then that means
no. But she's also a woman that agrees with your ideology.
Period.
No, you know what? I don't know if she agrees with my ideology.
Oh, she has. You've seen with
No, actually, no. If you're a stripper, excuse me, if you're a stripper, that doesn't mean you're a fucking sex worker.
This woman for the crime of being happily fucking married because you're nutcase.
I completely support her.
I did not viciously attack her. We were having a discussion.
Bullshit. You're lying through your teeth. Revisionist.
Give me verbatim how I viciously attacked her.
Yeah, here's how you viciously attacked her.
Okay.
You said that her husband groomed her.
Yes.
And that her marriage was invalid because of it.
I never said it was invalid. I said she was groomed. I never said invalid.
What do you think that means? That means to the audience, you shouldn't take anything that is said here with this marriage seriously because this guy groomed her. It was the worst, most scumbag, horrid thing to do to a young couple because you fucking people are so anti-natalist you can't stand to see a woman happy. Unbelievable.
That's your perception, but I never.
She's gonna go on a honeymoon and have 50 fucking.
I hope she does. I hope she has a great honeymoon with the man that
Gotta go have 50 kids while you're riding the cock carousel. And
I love the cock carousel. It's a great fucking time. I love dick in my mouth. It's fucking fantastic.
What? What the fuck?
All right, hold on. Let me bring it back here. Get off the meta conversation. Mike Davis, I see this. We do reads in batches. I see your 100. It's going to be batched. So getting back to this.
Oh, God.
Can you provide actual examples of misogynistic statements that I've made?
I think
Not even tonight. Any show.
Yes, clips I've seen and what I've witnessed today where you say you prostitute, you sex worker, how many dicks have you had in your mouth?
Just me. Just
well,
me. That's
you're more
Andrew.
of a moderator and a host. I feel like I don't really see you.
I engage in the debates, but you again though, just to be clear, you sent this before Andrew said that tonight. So let's push that off to the side. What have I or Andrew said previously when you originally sent this that was misogynistic?
Every clip I've seen and other people's perception.
Sure. Okay, so there are clips you've seen. What specifically in the clips was misogynistic?
How you speak to women and talk down upon them. Yeah, because of their life choices, like with so much judgment.
Give me an example.
About people doing OnlyFans. How is that not an example?
Give me an example of what I've said.
Oh, like specifically verbatim?
No, well, it doesn't have to be verbatim, but it could be sort of capturing the essence of what I said.
Saying that they don't have like decent morals or values because they participate in that sort of occupation is the consensus that I have come to.
Sure, I don't think I've ever actually said that or something approaching that.
Okay.
But
again, I don't have anything verbatim. It's just kind of the essence of.
Yeah, but how would this being engaged in sex work? Men can engage in sex work. How would this be specifically?
Yes, but you demonize women way more for doing it. You have a podcast where you have 8 women come on who usually have an occupation in sex work.
Usually have an occupation in sex work. Well, I would contest this. The majority of our guests don't do sex work. 15% of our guests have OnlyFans, and this actually isn't that. 15% of all the guests we've had, and we've had over 2,000 guests, only 15% of them have been involved in OnlyFans. So that typically the way
maybe we can demonstrate it just in an easy way. Raise your hand at the table if you're involved in sex work.
Not anymore.
Okay, then.
Well,
Chair
she
one,
raise her
you
hand.
judge women that
So
have participated.
about
He calls girls that engage
First
in
of
sex
all,
work.
I'm 52. I don't give a fuck
I've judged
anymore.
women that
See?
participate in
I earned
sex
my
work.
you. Not only give a
Like,
fuck
have
card.
She does not give a
women
fuck.
that do that type of
50
work.
plus? Yes.
I don't mean to have judged anyone.
I love that card.
Okay, it's
Yeah,
fine.
no, I don't judge women who participate in sex work
I
at all.
love that card.
Okay, but how would, even if I grant to you that I've made judgments about women who do sex work, how would that be misogynistic? Couldn't I just have criticisms of sex work specifically?
Yeah, and you can have criticisms. There are valid criticisms.
Like, aren't you against like sex work and OnlyFans?
I think that it's a false sense of free will that women participate in. I
Wait.
feel like the structure of.
Earlier in the conversation, and I also think in the essay you wrote, you said that women are like, you mentioned hypersexualization. You think the sexualization of women is wrong. So by your own admission, I assume you're against sex work to some degree.
I think it's very dangerous for society, and I think it's kind of a facade of women empowerment. I think, if anything, it's reaffirming our role in society as just sexual beings.
Okay. So we're both misogynists together then, because
No, I don't disrespect women who are in that occupation. I don't speak down to them on being in those roles.
Okay.
I don't like the structure that exists that says women should go into those occupations without. But at the same time, I'm not demonizing anyone who's participating.
You're going to need
in
to be specific about what I've said that has been
Again, I don't have
specifically
anything.
misogynistic as it relates to women who come on the show who do sex work.
Yeah, I don't have anything verbatim or a quote. It's
then,
just I think the public perception is that you are disrespectful to women and that you do.
Okay, well, the public perception of you is that you're a man-hating misandrist.
She's not.
And you think men are disposable, and you're kind of a hypocrite as it relates to traditional gender roles.
And I denounce that, and then you denounce that you're a misogynist. So I guess that's fine.
But
or that you're.
Hang on. I gotta weigh in just briefly.
Go ahead.
Right. I agree with you that some of the things which I say or Brian says can be perceived as being misogynist towards certain women. But misogyny, definitionally, is a hatred of all women or some type of oppressive mentality towards all women. You would have to agree that that's true.
Agree.
So the thing is like, you can't possibly believe that because some women are fucking nasty bastards to us, and so we're nasty bastards back to them, that means we're misogynistic, meaning that we have some sort of ill intention towards all women. You can't actually believe that, do you?
No, I think there's nuance there.
that was misogyny, by the way. Well, I mean, that.
Sorry, I had to mansplain that, but.
I mean, I would just say if you're not able to provide, like, again, you don't need to
I didn't
be like.
do homework for this. I thought it was a dating show. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
Literally,
you aired your criticisms, but
these are pertinent dating issues.
Yeah, very pertinent.
Where's like?
But hold on. So, look, I'm not asking you to quote something verbatim, like if you.
Well, I've given you the best answer I can give you.
If you give me the essence of what I've said, but you really haven't, and so essentially that which is asserted without evidence, I'm going to go ahead and dismiss without evidence.
Okay.
Can you give me one example, though? Just one example of something I've said that's misogynistic.
I think the ideology that you guys hold, that our gender structure should consist of women's main value being reproduction and men doing these things, are very limiting, and I think that is dangerous to both genders, and I think a lot of the times it comes off as misogynistic.
I have a question for you. Do you think in society men or women are more limited in the roles that they can have when it comes to like romantic partners?
What do you mean when it comes to romantic partners?
I'll just lay out my argument then. So here's my position. I think women have choices. So a woman can be a career woman. Some women pull off both, although it's quite difficult. And I think Andrew would argue that it's suboptimal for a woman to be working and having children at the same time.
I would agree.
But also women can just be stay-at-home wives. They can find a guy who's okay with that dynamic. However, I would say most men don't have similar options. So I would say very, very few women would be okay being the sole breadwinner and being okay with that relationship dynamic, even if they're feminists like you, even if they're progressive liberals like you. By your own admission, despite your political leanings being very progressive, being very liberal, very leftist, or feminist, it sounds like you want, at least on the male side of things, you want him to be falling pretty traditional when it comes to what he's bringing to the table.
But I want him to also not make me a homemaker, not to think that I'm, you know what I mean? I want a partner, and these are the characteristics I want a partner.
But I would say that if you want, you can find a guy who's going to do 50-50 with you. You could also probably find a guy who's well off or he makes good money. And if you had a conversation with him, you could say, hey, I want to just stay at home, take care of the household. I don't know if you want kids.
But you're saying men don't have an option.
Men really don't.
I completely agree.
Really don't have, like, the majority of men who could get away with saying, yeah, I have a job right now, but maybe a year into dating or a year into marriage, I just want to stop working and I just want to be a stay-at-home dad. I suppose some women might be okay with that. I'm not going to say no women would be okay with it, but I think it's a very, very, very small minority of women, even liberal, progressive, feminist women, who are not going to be okay with that sort of arrangement. Whereas there are certain economic realities where, look, even if a man is traditional, maybe he's not making enough money. So the economic reality is, even if he is traditional, his wife might have to work. But he's going to be open to it if he does make enough money that he's going to be able to say, hey, you don't have to work. I'll be the sole breadwinner. You take care of the kids. Stay home. Men don't have that choice. So this idea that women don't have choice is ridiculous.
Why does it have to be the liberal women? I mean, I know all of a sudden the conservative women have to stay at home and that's what they portray. No, man.
I suppose there could be a conservative woman that Well, most conservative women wouldn't want that sort of relationship dynamic.
Well, that's what you think on social media. You know,
You're not
stop
conservative.
about,
I don't think you're conservative, though.
you know,
I think you're a Republican, but I don't think
no,
you're
I
conservative.
am. I don't give a shit at this age.
All right.
Okay, I was born in 1972, and I don't give a shit.
I was born in the
Okay.
80s.
And this is, you know, and I just had my kid at 37, man.
Just the cutoff.
Okay. And she's got a little septum. She's got a little snake bites. She's everything that I didn't have when I was a kid. And I used to have my little hair like Madonna. And in fact, my mother used to get called to the school like 3 times a week because I used to have my
God, a
hair
chat
like
came through.
pineapple.
14 donated
I'm sorry, a
Yes.
chat just came through. I don't know how that
The right
happened.
side of the table is disgusting.
Hey!
The woman in the middle, congratulations. Chair 8, you're still my favorite.
No, that's you. Say something nice to.
Hi, thank you so much.
You're kind
I
of
still
simping
love you.
though, Magic. You got to pay the sim tax.
What?
You got to pay. By the way, she's got a boyfriend, bro. What are you doing? You're stepping on toes.
You're talking about
You're stepping on
You're
toes.
not disgusting. You are faceless
Oh no, he's sexy. We love you. Mwah.
asshole.
Fuck.
Love you, baby.
No, you're
There's
beautiful.
DM
one more
me.
coming through. One more coming through. Pasty George.
DM me, babe.
Pay the sim tax in
All
Magic.
my girls are
Hasty
beautiful,
George
man.
donated $200.
Pay the sim
Andrew
tax.
is correct 100%. Once, Chair 2 suggested that Chair 5 was groomed. That statement implies that she was not an adult and was taken advantage of, even though she was legally one of marriage.
I
Joe,
stand
what
by
can you-
that statement
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, you stand by the.
I
horrific
stand with my
statement
pussy wide open,
that this
Andrew.
woman who's sitting there was groomed by her own husband, who she
Yeah,
completely
groomed by
cares
the
about.
man before he was her husband. He groomed her when she was 17
Well, I
at
think
20.
You're grooming all the rich
Erroneous.
guys you fuck for their money.
Erroneous.
That's
What
I
did you?
think.
I'm sorry, it cut out. What did you say?
I think that you're grooming all the rich guys you fuck for their money.
Oh, wait, why? Elaborate. I'd love to hear like what your opinion is on that.
Isn't it the case that you only are having sex and dating rich guys because you want their money?
No, I see. I don't have
Or why do you
sex
only
for
date
money.
Rich guys, and why do you only date rich guys?
They only date me.
Wait, you said I only date rich guys. Why
Yeah,
do you only
exactly.
date rich
Men
guys
who
unless it's because
men
you want
who
their money.
No, men who ask me on a dates happen to be rich. Broke guys don't ask me on dates.
Oh, how convenient.
I know, it's amazing.
Correlate.
I
Only
literally
men
I hit
who
the
have
luck
lots
of
money.
Andrew.
And no men who don't have lots of money.
Andrew, honestly,
Wow, that's incredible.
I was very unlucky in other aspects, but I happened to hit the prime fucking lottery in that part of my life.
Wow.
Like I had a very tumultuous childhood, but therefore
Not a single guy who's not rich who you're attracted to has ever asked you out. I just want to make sure that that's
no,
clear.
broke guys have never asked me out. It's actually insane.
It's never happened.
It's
Wow,
never
that's
happened.
incredible.
It's like I hit the luck of
science.
no,
Who
I hit
wants
the luck of the
pizza?
draw.
Who would like some
I
pizza?
don't, can I order some for everybody?
Pizza.
Can I buy
Pizza.
it? Like, oh, sorry.
Everybody want pizza? Or
I'm okay.
no?
Andrew,
Pizza?
by the way, I love you.
Pizza. Okay.
Good girls are like.
And your wife. I think you guys are honestly a
I
dynamic
feel
duo.
like you owe that poor lady an
She's not
apology.
gonna. I think.
Yeah, I think
Hold on, I do have one. If I was groomed, do you think I'd be sitting here right now on the internet live in California when my husband lives in Florida? Do you think somebody who groomed me would let me fly out here and do a podcast?
100%. So,
No, that's
do you know
not-
about Bad
that's-
Baby?
That's not
What
how
her?
control
Do you know?
works.
Do you know? Have you seen Bad Baby's whole situation?
I don't really keep up with degenerate
So
stuff
she
like
was
that.
groomed, and she's still. Oh, Brian, don't you go? Oh my God.
I don't
mean,
know if we can compare my situation to
I'm
Bad
not
Baby.
comparing, but you're acting. You're asking
You are,
for
you're
like.
comparing.
Okay, yeah, I guess we'll like make a. It's not like a distinct comparison, but it's like. You guys are similar in age, somewhat, you know, and
Your fucking mouth.
But we're
Wait,
like,
they're
Brian, do you
similar
not
in
like
age,
this
but she was
discussion?
groomed?
I'll
That's
stop
really
it.
weird.
what?
How is it
Do you
that
have
they're
cash
similar in age, but she was
for the
still
pizza?
groomed? That's super weird.
I have cash. Yeah.
Okay, give me cash.
Wait, why do you want cash?
That's cash.
Why can't I just Uber Eats it?
Hold on.
Nah,
No, I need the cash because we'll order
need
it.
the cash.
I need
How
the
much
cash.
do you want?
Well,
$100.
$100.
I mean, I gave you $100
It's
already.
the cost of living in Santa Barbara. Actually, you know what's funny? There was recently a report that Santa Barbara is the least affordable.
Are you serious?
I believe
Yeah, it was the
that.
number in the United
I believe it,
States.
yeah.
In
Yeah,
the
I believe it,
entire
man.
United States,
Just
Santa
being
Barbara
here is
I
here
do.
is
That's
the
why Brian's asked me to move out several times, and I've thought about it.
Wait, what
But,
state do you live in?
Hey,
I'm not.
if I
I'm not
moved
trying to
out
like.
to Santa
15-year-olds
Barbara,
running around.
If I moved
I
out
have
to Santa
two
Barbara,
15-year-olds
I could
running
buy
around.
for
I
$2
don't even
million
know where they're
a
at.
2-bedroom house.
But there are.
Yeah.
What state
Well, you
do
don't
you live
buy.
in?
You're gonna have to rent.
That's why.
It's just you can't buy in Santa
Yeah,
Barbara.
don't
It's
move
totally
out
fucked.
here.
Wait, Andrew, what state do you live in? You don't have to answer. I'm just like curious.
Michigan. I live in Michigan.
Oh, you're from Michigan. That's so random. Okay.
Shout out.
You're next to
Falls.
Canada.
Middle
Kid Rock's from Michigan. What the fuck?
All right.
Is he really? Oh my god, I love Rock of Love. That's one of my favorite shows as a kid.
All the best musicians came out of
What's your question, really quick?
Yeah.
It's because all they have to do in the winter is
grooming
play
because-
guitar
How's your
and-
governor of Witchburn?
Okay.
Negative
Okay, so going back to this. Again, I'd like to ask for an example of something that
Yeah, I don't have one. You're not a misogynist. You've wiped yourself clean of that.
you're walking back the.
Yes.
Okay.